Yo, what's up, guys? It is People Ruin Wrestling here, back again for another video. Today, we're going to be doing why he's great on Karrion Kross, also known as Killer Kross. So let's get into it. Reason number one, he's humble to his fans. So what do I mean by that? When he has the time, he acknowledges his fans, and he likes his fans for the most part, depending on who you are. He takes the time out of his day to reply to you. He's actually replied to some of my tweets that I've done and some of my Instagram stories. And overall, he just seems like a really cool guy to be around. Like, he seems like a guy that really values his fans and actually cares about them. Unlike a lot of the wrestlers now who really don't care about their fans, even though those are the biggest supporters of you and your brand. But I think Karrion actually understands that, and he values his fans a lot. Number two, this guy has a larger-than-life personality. So when we talk about larger-than-life competitors in the WWE, we talk about Stone Cold, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior. This guy has a larger-than-life personality to where you could build your company around this guy. He's one of those guys that you can give 2 belts to, and people would be convinced and be like, oh, wow, yeah, I could see him being a top champion, even 2. So the idea that he's larger than life, that is true. He could run your company. He can bring your fucking ratings up hella quick. Number 3, he's probably, maybe even arguably, the best promo in professional wrestling. The way he delivers his things that he talks about, the way he can work with shit scripts and make them work, is something that a lot of these talents nowadays can't do because they're incapable of doing it. Let me tell you some guys that he is better promos than. He's a better promo than Adam Cole. He's a better promo than Keith Lee. He's a better promo than Drew McIntyre. He's a better promo than Braun Strowman, obviously. He's the best promo on NXT by far. Oh, and I forgot, he's a better promo than Matt Riddle. So all those guys that I mentioned, Keith Lee and Matt Riddle specifically, are superstar talents, larger-than-life talents. And in my opinion, as well as a lot of other people's opinions, he's a better promo. He gets his words better around because he's been around the industry for a while. And hell, when he was in TNA not being utilized correctly, as he should be their top champion for like 3 years straight, he was still entertaining. He does his job the correct way. He doesn't complain. You know, he's a very humble guy like that. And even with his run as Karrion Kross now, he's, as far as I know, from checking on his Twitters and Instagram, he doesn't complain. He's a guy that is grateful to be in WWE, and he's grateful from his beginnings. That's the problem with a lot of these indie jobbers that come over to WWE is they have a fucking, they have an attitude issue, they have a ego issue, because they think because they were hot shit on the indies that they're going to be hot shit in WWE and they deserve the best. When half the time all they provide to the company is ratings decline and technical work rate. They don't have anything else. So that's what makes Killer Kross stand out amongst all of these guys, is he's just built differently. Number 4, he's banging probably the hottest chick in professional wrestling, Scarlett Bordeaux. Like, honestly. Scarlett Bordeaux is more than likely the hottest chick in professional wrestling right now, and she oozes sex appeal. When you talk about what casuals want to see in females, they don't care about technical work rate. They don't care about them wrestling at all. The fact of the matter is, if Scarlett Bordeaux and Killer Kross were brought up to the main roster, they would both do amazing things. And hell, I'll say right now, they would be a better couple on TV than how Triple H and Stephanie McMahon were back in the 2000s. I said it. If you want to come at me, do it. And that comes down to both of them being team players. They both don't have egos that mesh wrongly. They are very good together. They have a lot of chemistry because they're a real-life couple. Number 5, I know this is going to be a stupid reason, but he runs his own YouTube channel. Now, granted, from the last time I checked, I think he hadn't posted it in around a year. But that's because he's been really busy. He has rehab now. I mean, he's with the fucking WWE. So he's got a lot of shit to do. He's doing a lot more than he did on the indies. But if you want, check out his YouTube channel. It's really good. It's very creative as well. I'm pretty sure he produces most of this stuff himself. It kind of reminds me of like Jeremy Barash, the guy from NXT UK who does like all the vignettes and promos and stuff. Like, he's really good. He should be brought over to WWE right now. on the main roster and produce a bunch of vignettes and stuff like that. But Killer Kross, he does all this shit himself as far as I know. Also, he does post some of his stuff on Twitter and Instagram, so I would check those out as well. It's very entertaining stuff, very creative stuff as well. So I would definitely go give that a watch. Number 6, he's a legit badass. He has combat sports experience. He looks like a guy who could beat the fuck out of you. And as I said before, he's a believable top guy. He's a believable top guy because he looks like a superstar and he's big as fuck, so he would fuck you up. I had someone on Twitter, like, I saw it on my feed, and it was like, who would want to see Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross? And I just started laughing. Because in a real fight, Karrion would fuck the shit out of Finn Balor. Finn Balor wouldn't be able to do anything. Finn Balor would be better off just going to the ground and pretty much just getting his ass kicked. Like Brock Lesnar, you could build this guy up as a dominant force, but unlike Brock, I mean, Brock's a good promo, but Killer and Karrion Kross, he's just a better promo. Number 7, he keeps himself in shape. Unlike a bunch of these indie work rate monkeys, he has a believable body. He has the body of a superstar. Even as he's recovering right now, he's kept most of his muscle mass. He looks great. He looks really good. And this is what I always tell the Smarks, is for most of these guys that are in the NXT, they can go to the Performance Center or go to a gym and get fucking ripped. Mind you, it won't change the fact that they are vanilla midgets and they look like children, but it'll make them look more believable. It'll actually make them look like a wrestler. You don't need to be 6'5". At least if you have some muscle, you look like a superstar. Don't look like a fucking child. Like, that's why I can't take the Undisputed Era seriously. That's because they all look like children. Everyone, even Kyle O'Reilly, he looks like a kid. Bobby Fish looks like a kid. Roderick Strong looks like a child. It's the same thing with all these guys. They look like fucking teenagers. And I've seen teenagers that are bigger than them. Number 8, he made NXT somewhat watchable when he had a rivalry with Keith Lee. While his rivalry with Keith Lee was a little weird and how executed it was pretty weird, I was still entertained by it. Honestly, I'll be real with you. He takes this character that he had on the indies, and it's basically a kid version of that gimmick, and he still makes it work. That's what a true superstar is. That's a guy who can work with anything. He can work with anyone. He can make or break anything. He can make a gimmick work. Now, of course, his gimmick isn't going to be deadly or anything like that because they have the TV deal. However, you could do a lot of things with this. A lot. Sorry, my fan just fell down. But you could do a lot with this if they had the right booking, if they had the right mind to come up with this. Like, we could have him do shit where he could destroy things. He could be trying to actively injure other competitors. You can have a bunch of storylines where he would go against other guys and he'd put them in the hospital. Like, say someone touches Scarlett or assaults them or something, right? He comes backstage, he fucks the shit up out of them. Then you got like a fake news crew in the back covering it. Then you have there's a shot of Karrion getting like handcuffed and put into a car. And then you go to the prison and the interviewer's asking him all these questions and shit like that. You could do a lot of shit like that and it will be good because he can execute it the best of his abilities. Like, because he's so talented, he's so multidimensional. Number 9, he's a main event talent. He's always been. Ever since the Indies, he's one of these guys you could put right in the main event, and he's believable, and he would execute it to the best of his abilities. I can definitely see him, like, a big money match, WWE, if you're listening right now, which I doubt you are. But if you are, a big money match is to bring him up to the main roster, and for, like, a whole year, let him be undefeated. Let him fuck up people, right? And again, this idea might seem stupid, but a big money match would be Karrion Kross versus Brock Lesnar. If you want casuals to view your product, make that fucking match happen. But it can't happen immediately. They have to be in a fucking rivalry. They have to do it. They have to build it up the right way. I'm sick of them throwing these guys into matches without any build-up. It has to be done right because these are two very special talents, very, very talented people here that we need to throw them in. That's like the Triple H mentality. Just throw my best guy that I think is my best guy in, and then let's see how it works. Like, that's not how it works, dude. That's why your ratings are going down. And I'm going to say this right now. Number 10, arguably the best male talent in pro wrestling. And I'm just going to end it there because I've said it before. So, yeah, that's how he's great on Karrion Kross. And Karrion, if you're watching right now, I really like you, man. I hope you get back to action. Hope you recover fast.